Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are jumping right into this tutorial. I'm starting off with her eyebrows first, and I'm just following the natural shape of her brows. As always, I'm just following the direction her hair is naturally growing. I'm being very light with my pencil, and I'm just going to do hair-like strokes throughout the brow. So now I'm going in with my MAC Prolong Wear Concealer in shade NC50, and I'm going to use that to sculpt out the bottom of her eyebrow. So I'm relying on the tip of the brush to get me a sharp edge. And also peep that I'm using my pinky to anchor my hand so that my hand is not shaky. Look what you're doing, so damn confusing. My heart's in ruins tonight. Now to scope out the top of her brow, I'm going to use the horizontal edge of the brush to get me that sharp, crisp line on top of her brow. I'm just really relying on the shape of the brush. So now I'm just taking a fluffy brush. This is just a brush from CAUDALIE, and I'm just going to tap that concealer into her skin. I do like for the concealer around the brows to dry down just a bit because I want the concealer to stay exactly where I placed it. So now that we have the brows nice and perfect, we're going to go ahead and start with the eyeshadow. I'm using the P.louise base. I'm using shade number 5, and that's what I'm going to use to make sure that my shadows go on really nice and pigmented. I'm going to use another fluffy brush just to blend all of that out. And this is a BH Cosmetics brush. This is the Studio brush number 2. I don't know, but I'll have it down below. So you want to make sure that P.louise base is nice and smooth. And I'm going to go ahead and go into the Secret Center palette. And I'm using this bright, vibrant pink shadow first. And I'm just going to tap that right underneath her crease where her eye naturally creases. And then I'm going to work my way into that crease. So I'm just building up my color and I'm just tapping that color on. I'm not putting too much pressure.
I never meant to get so attached to you in the way that you move. Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel it in my bones, I feel it in my body. Say that you want me. I know you wanna know, so let me show you, baby. I can be the one you need. Can't get over you, make me want it.
So now I'm going in with these two peachy colors, and that's what I'm going to use to blend out that pink. And I'm using the same brush, you guys. This is the Sigma E40 brush. And then I'm just going to go in. This is optional. You don't have to do this. I just wanted to bring in a little bit of brightness and contrast. So I'm going to go in with some yellow directly right on top of the last two shadows that I used. I'm just going to place that right on top. And I'm using a Makeup Forever fluffy brush. I forgot the name. I think it's a 242 from Makeup Forever, but I'll list it down below. Now I'm just going back in with that first pink that we used just to enforce that hot pink color, because we are going to be cutting our crease directly underneath the pink, so you want that color to be very prominent. Now I'm going to go ahead and mix these two bases from P.louise. One is from the Basics set, which is like a hot pink, and then I mixed the shade number 0 to give me like a baby pink. And I'm just using my cut crease brush, and I'm going to tap that brush right along in the shape of her eye. Directly across from her crease. I'm just following the natural shape of her eye, and I'm tapping that on. The tapping motions are just going to ensure that your crease is going to be nice and sharp. It's going to be perfect. It's literally, this is like almost foolproof. It helps you not mess up. So instead of just trying to take your brush and have a steady hand and going all across the eye, you might mess up if you are a beginner. So this is very beginner friendly. If you just tap your brush along in the shape of your eye. And now I'm just gonna use a fluffy brush again, the BEIGE Cosmetics brush, and I'm just gonna lightly tap off any extra product before I go ahead and start filling the eye in with my eyeshadows. This is the same pop pink color we used. I'm using that on the outer portion of the eye. And this is a Morphe M441 brush. Now I'm taking this brush from Juvia's Place. I don't think it has a number on it. And I'm just using this very light shimmery pink color from the Juvia's. It's from the Juvia's Place. I think it's from the Masquerade palette, but of course I'll have it down below. And then my camera cut off, but in the middle of her eye, I just use this peachy coral color. That's from the P.louise palette, the Secret Center palette. That's what I use in the center. And I use the same brush to apply it.
Look what you're doing, so damn confusing. My heart's in ruins tonight. I feel it in my bones, I feel it in my body. Say that you want me. I know you wanna know, so let me show you, baby. I can be the one you need. Can't get over you, make me want.
So now I'm going in with some lash glue. I am going to apply some glitter, just a little touch of glitter. You guys, there's so many different ways to use glitter to elevate your look. You can be very selective and unique in how you want to use your glitter. I'm just tapping this glitter lightly above the blend work that I did, so you can still see the ombre effect of the colors, but then you also get sparkle on the eye, so it just makes it look more interesting. It's more texture, it's sparkle, but you still see the eyeshadows underneath. And I'm just tapping the glitter on with the fluffy. This is a Morphe 433 brush. I just sprayed the brush to wet it so it can pick up the glitter, and just apply the glitter directly onto the eye. So now I'm going in with the BOBBI Brown moisturizer, the Enrich cream, and I'm using that as a moisturizer and primer for her skin. And I'm gonna pop her lashes on and add the eyeliner before I start her face.
I never meant to get so attached to you in the way that you move. Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel it in my bones, I feel it in my body. Say that you want me. I know you wanna know, so let me show you, baby. I can be the one you need. Can't get over you, make me want it. Dancing round the truth if I'm being.
Alright, you guys, so I know ladybugs are good luck, but I don't like anything with wings, and you're about to see what happened when a ladybug flew in my room.
You should get it. You spotted it. What do you have to kick it with? Take my shoe. Wait, let me. Wait. No, let me move too, cause. Alright, give me a piece of tissue.
Alright. So yeah, I don't mess with anything with wings. Like, I know ladybugs are like good luck and stuff like that, but I really don't care. Like, once you start flying around, it's a no. It's a no for me. So for her inner corner, I'm using the exact same color that I used on the inner portion of her eye. So for foundation, I'm using this Tarte foundcealer because I haven't gotten a chance to really play with it on myself. And the last time she came here for her birthday, I used this foundation on her because it matched her undertone really well. So I'm mixing that foundation, and I'm also using NW55, and I'm going to mix those two together for her foundation. I did try this foundation one time on myself in a video, and it was okay. So I'm still figuring out ways to like play with it to see how I like it, to see if I want to like use them or not. But for right now, it's an okay foundation. They do need a little bit more colors, but you'll see in the end, her skin looks really beautiful. And I'm just tapping that foundation in using my Real Techniques Instapop brush. And this part of the video was just so satisfying to me. Like, the way the foundation is just going into her skin, it just looks like butter. Like, it's just so satisfying.
Look what you're doing, so damn confusing. My heart's in ruins tonight. I feel it in my bones, I feel it in my body. Say that you want me. I know you wanna know, so let me show you, baby. I can be the one you need. Can't get over you, make me want it. Dancing round the truth if I'm being honest. You and me together.
And with Black Opal's foundation stick, and I'm using the shade Ebony Brown, and that's what I'm going to use to contour her skin. So I'm going to contour her forehead and her cheeks with this. And I actually wanted to show how long it takes to blend this out. So I'm going in with the cheek version of the Instapop brush. And first I like to press that product in the skin directly where I placed it. I don't want that product to move around. I want it to be exactly where it is. And I'm just going to keep tapping that out and bringing it into her hairline and outwards. Then I'm going to go in with my foundation brush, and if I need to clean up underneath that contour, I will. I'm going to add a little bit more product on my brush just so I can clean up underneath her contour, because I don't like the contour to get too close to the mouth. So I'm going to erase a little bit of that contour, and I'm also going to press the foundation brush into the contour so that it's nice and smooth and soft, but we still see that there's a contour, but it's not like in your face, harsh and heavy.
I feel Look what you're doing, so damn confusing. My heart's in ruins tonight.
So now I'm going in with concealer. I'm going to use the same concealer I used under her eye, which is the MAC Prolong Wear Concealer in NC50. And then I'm going to take some of the 24 Hour Wear Concealer, and the shade is in NC50 as well. It's just a little bit lighter, more yellow. So I'm going to use those two to highlight underneath her eyes, forehead, and nose. I gotta tell y'all this story I was telling her, yo. I gotta do a story time about this story. I got a story for days, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Real Technique setting brush, and I'm gonna use that to blend out. I'm gonna use a combination of this brush and the foundation brush to blend out the concealer on her chin, forehead, and underneath her eyes.
I never meant to get so attached to you in the way that you move. Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel it in my bones, I feel it in my body. Say that you want me. I know you wanna know, so let me show you, baby. I can be the one you need. Can't get over you, make me want it. Dancing round the truth, if I'm being honest. You and me together. Look what you're doing, so damn confusing. My heart's in ruins tonight. Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel it in my bones, I feel it in my body. Say that you want me. I know you wanna know, so let me show you, baby. I can be the one you need. Can't get over you, make me want it. Dancing round the truth.
Once you have that all blended out, you want to go ahead and set everywhere you place concealer. So I'm going in with the Luscious by Lynn powders. This is in the shade Butternut Beige, and I'm just going to take the setting brush from Real Techniques, and I'm going to use that to press the powder underneath her eyes. I'm also going to apply it to her forehead and nose and chin as well. So now we're going to move on to contour and bronzer. I'm using this contour palette from MAC, and I'm going to take the darkest shade and start contouring her skin. Her cheekbones are very prominent even without makeup on, so I know exactly where I'm going. But the cream contour definitely gave me a guide to where I want to place my contour. So I'm going to work that product in. I'm being very light-handed, and then I'm going to brush that product into her cheeks as well as in her hairline, and bring that down so that it looks like the contour is naturally just coming from her. It's coming from the hairline. And then I'm going to take my foundation brush and just clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up, because you don't want the contour to be too close to the eyebrow. The forehead gets really dark and muddy very easily. I'm also going to contour her nose using a small eyeshadow brush, and you want to make sure you bring that contour into the front of her eyebrow for a more natural look.
it's in ruins tonight.
Now for bronzer, I'm going to go in with the ABH bronzer in Mahogany, and I'm just going to use a fluffy cheek brush to sweep that bronzer onto her skin and around her forehead. Now I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm going to tap all of that powder off. I'm going to actually just press the powder into her skin. It's going to leave a beautiful, soft, filtered effect on her skin. So now we're going to finish up on the eyes. I'm taking the same base that I used to cut the crease, and I'm going to place that underneath her bottom lash line so that the shadow has something to adhere to and it'll go on smoothly. Using that same hot pink eyeshadow, and I'm just going to apply that right underneath her lash line. I did put some black eyeliner in her waterline.
Get so attached to you in the way that you move. Yeah.
And then for a little contrast, I'm going to use this lilac purplish metallic shade from the Juvia's Place Masquerade palette, I think. And I'm going to just place that right in the inner corner of her bottom lash line. For lips, I'm using a nude matte lipstick, and I'm going to top it off with the MAC lip gloss in Oyster Girl. So I'm going to go in my OMGLO spray in the shade Coffee. I'm going to spray this on her skin, and then I'm going to press that powder into her skin. The second spray is optional, but I'm going to use my CAUDALIE Beauty Elixir, which I said Jesus cried in these bottles because it just makes you super pretty. I just love this spray. It's amazing. And I'm going to spray that on her skin and press that on her skin as well. Now I'm going to go in with my highlighter. Now I'm going to go with my highlighter in the shade Glow Sis. And I'm just going to tap that into the skin. I wanted the skin to be very fresh and glowy, which is why I opted to use 2 different sprays before applying the highlight. I'm going to apply it to her cheeks, a little bit on her forehead. The light naturally hits your forehead, so I'm going to have some on her forehead, cheeks, a little bit on her nose as well. Now I'm going to go in with this BH Cosmetics setting spray, and I'm going to spray her face to set everything, and then press the spray into her skin once again. This is a completed look, you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had so much fun filming this look for you all. I told y'all my client tutorials was coming back, and if you're a real one, you saw this mini tutorial on Nikki Tutorial story. So I love you guys so much, and I will catch you all in the next video. Stay tuned for the cell phone footage. Bye.
Look what you're doing. so damn confusing. My heart's in ruins tonight.